Yo, guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to the 10 most terrifying places in the universe, and I mean, yeah, the title's pretty obvious. I don't know if I've ever heard of any of these places before in previous videos, because I do a lot of space-related reactions because they're just fun to do. They're always the most enjoyable ones to sort of learn from. And yeah, I just find them quite interesting. But we're going to get into this. Links in the description to my Instagram, my Twitter for those who want to follow me. Save my Patreon. Links were there for those who want to watch extra reactions. But we're just going to get into this, man. I don't know what to expect, to be honest.
10 most terrifying places in the universe. Number 10, WASP 12b. Imagine a planet so dense that diamond is as abundant there as limestone is on Earth. Well, approximately 4,000 light years away, deep in the Auriga constellation, is WASP 12b, a planet where that is exactly the case. You'd better get in there quick though, because the planet is being literally devoured by its own sun. WASP 12b orbits its star at a distance of only 3.
Imagine being the person to get to this place. Imagine how, I mean, you wouldn't become rich because it would be so common now. But say there's one individual person who gets all this stuff, all this diamond, and he comes back to Earth and sells it all. I mean, to be honest, it would probably cost more to travel there and back than you would get for selling some of the diamond here. So it probably wouldn't be worth it, but it's still a cool thing.
4 million kilometers.
To think about.
I know that sounds like a lot, but it's less than 1/44th of the distance between the Earth and our Sun. As a result, the planet is being ripped to shreds. Its surface temperature is over 2,200 degrees Celsius, and the colossal gravitational forces acting upon it have skewed it into an egg shape. At the moment, it's about 3 times the size of Jupiter, but it's losing 6 trillion kilograms of mass every single second. It's estimated that the planet may only have another 10 million years left before it's entirely consumed. Before the planet's discovery in April 2008, scientists had speculated that events like this could occur, but this is the first ever time it's actually been observed. Number 9, supermassive electric current. You'd think supermassive black holes are terrifying enough, seeing as they're unexplorable space demons from which nothing can escape, not even light. But there's one in a galaxy about 2 billion light years away, which has a colossal magnetic field that's generating the highest known electric current in the universe. Thanks, nature. The galaxy in question is 3C303, and the current at its heart was discovered by scientists at the University of Toronto in 2011. At 1 quintillion amps, which is 1 with 18 zeros, the current is the equivalent of 1 trillion bolts of lightning, or enough to power all of Earth's light bulbs for 12 billion.
Fucking hell. What? God damn. Imagine we just got, I mean, I know this isn't how it works, but imagine we just got a solar panel that could be powered by electric currents or whatever. Imagine, like, it strikes the big solar panel that we have just out of space, the Earth's solar panel. We wouldn't have to do all these things, man. We wouldn't have to have, like, nuclear power plants. Or maybe, I don't know. We wouldn't have to have all these sort of things that cause damage to the Earth because of this big solar panel. Man, I'm a visionary. I'm telling you what, man. I'm going to save this planet. But, like, I know this isn't possible. But say we did have a big thing that could consume the power of the electric current and it hit it. Would that mean we wouldn't have to use, like, nuclear power plants, solar, obviously it would be solar power, but, like, I don't know, just any other sort of forms of, like, I can't think of them, but forms of power, like, would that even mean that, or would we still have to use that kind of stuff? Because I don't know, I'm probably just talking shit right now, but I don't...
Years.
I wonder.
The current is being driven out into space as far as 150,000 light years away. Considering that the Milky Way galaxy has a radius of only 100,000 light years, that's pretty damn far. Number 8, the Perseus cluster.
Obviously it will never happen.
Believe it or not, this image is not photoshopped. Nicknamed the Screaming Skull, it's an X-ray image of a galaxy cluster known as the Perseus cluster, taken by the Chandra Observatory telescope. The Perseus cluster, which sits 320 million light years away, contains thousands of galaxies. But you can't actually see any of them here. Instead, what you're looking at is a 50 million degree cloud of intra-cluster gas. It's thought that the ghoulish form was created by a supermassive black hole at the cluster center, with the holes in the gas created by colossal explosions of energetic particles. Similarly spooky is the so-called ghost hand of God, a glowing green hand reaching through space to grab a red cloud of light. This eerie sight is actually a pulsar wind nebula, which was produced by the remnants of a star that exploded in a supernova millions of years ago. And then, for the Lord of the Rings fans out there, there's this infrared image that looks...
I'm fucked in the head, man. I am fucked in the head.
To the iconic Eye of Sauron. In actual fact, it's the star Fomalhaut.
Some will say Lord of the Rings, some will say something else. Lord of the Rings is probably a better one. It also looks like a cat eye,
which is surrounded by a large ring of debris as planets form around it.
But that wasn't what I was thinking.
Number 7. Extreme pumpkin stars.
What?
From skulls and zombie hands to another iconic Halloween symbol, these are extreme pumpkin stars. 18 of them were discovered by NASA's Kepler and Swift missions in 2016, in the constellations of Cygnus and Lyra, about 6,000 light-years from Earth. Don't let their fairly whimsical name fool you. Extreme pumpkin stars are badass. They rotate at astronomical speeds, which is why they've ended up being squished into these quirky pumpkin shapes. These stars rotate in just a few days on average. That's scarily quick compared to our sun, which takes almost a month despite being much smaller. This dizzying rotation increases the regularity of unpredictable solar activities, like solar flares and sunspots, essentially sending the stars into overdrive and causing radio and magnetic disturbances millions of kilometers away. And then there's the X-rays that these bad boys produce. Each of the 18 pumpkin stars discovered produce X-rays at more than 100 times the peak level ever seen from our sun. One of the suns, KSW 71, is 10 times larger than our sun and produces X-ray emissions that are over 4,000 times greater.
And stuff like this makes the world that we live in currently feel 10 million billion trillion times crazier than it already is, man. Like, everything's just in place. Our sun doesn't rotate at a certain speed, so it leads to less sort of solar flares or whatever, sort of potentially harming the Earth. Those are just little things in the details that sort of lead our sort of existence to be so crazy. Like, we live on a planet that's obviously just perfectly made for us, with all these little details in space that just perfectly make it perfect for us. It's crazy, man. I don't know how, like, this all formed and managed to make this thing that we're all living in, man. I love space videos because I don't even think so deeply about stuff that I never usually think about. Space is just the one, man. It really is. If I could become, like, a scientist to do space, that would be cool. Will never happen because you can probably tell I'm not the smartest of guys, the smartest of people. But it would be cool, man, because space is just something that I wish I could just learn about non-stop and just find out every little detail, man.
Number 6.
It's so cool.
TRES-2b. This is TRES-2b, officially the darkest planet that NASA has ever discovered. It sits about 750 light-years away in the constellation of Draco, orbiting the catchily named star GSC 03549 02811, also known as Kepler-1 to its friends. It's a gas giant with a similar composition to Jupiter and orbits Kepler-1 at a relatively intimate 5 million kilometers. TRES-2b reflects less than 1% of all light that hits it, which is less than coal or black acrylic paint. Adding to its spookiness, it's actually a mystery as to why the planet is so damn dark. One potential explanation is that the gases that make up its surface, vaporized sodium, potassium, or gaseous titanium oxide, absorb all the light. Alternatively, it could be due to a lack of reflective clouds in its atmosphere, like those that make Jupiter so bright. And in case all-consuming, soul-destroying, inescapable darkness wasn't terrifying enough for you, this planet is also flipping boiling. It glows deep, deep red, and scientists believe its temperature could reach up to 1,100 degrees Celsius. Number 5. RxJ1347. Okay, so 1,100 degrees Celsius on TRES-2b is pretty damn hot. But that'd be a cool winter's day in comparison to the temperatures in our next terrifying place.
That'd be a winter day.
RxJ1347, a gas cloud in the constellation of Virgo some 5 billion light-years away, is the hottest known place in the whole universe.
What
Temperatures regularly reach a simply unfathomable 300 million degrees, which...
How is this possible? And the fact this is the one that's been discovered, there's going to be places that are probably... that make this sound like it's nothing. Like, that's just the crazy thing about space, man. Like, you'll see these temperatures and it's like, yeah, this is the one. This is the hottest it can be. And then there'll be this place where it's 10 times hotter. Then there'll be this other place that's just 100 times hotter. And it's just so, like, endless, man. I don't know, space is fucking crazy, man. We're never going to figure it all out, but I just hope there's a way. I don't know, when we pass away, we just get to find out everything, man. Or when there's just discoveries that keep happening now, like in this current day that I live in, and they'll just be able to discover everything. Obviously, that won't happen, but you gotta wish, right? Because that'd be so
20 times hotter
sick.
than the center of the sun. The cloud surrounds a cluster of galaxies that's approximately 5 million light-years wide. So it's not like it's a tiny astronomical blip, it's a ginormous searing mass. It's thought that this celestial hot flush was caused by 2 galaxy swarms colliding together at ridiculous speeds, probably over 4,000 kilometers a second. According to Assistant Professor Naomi Ota of the Tokyo University of Science, if that were the case, it would constitute the most violently energetic celestial event since the Big Bang itself.
Flipping hell.
Number 4. The Boomerang Nebula.
That's mental.
From one extreme to another, this is the Boomerang Nebula, aka
bow
the
tie.
coldest known place in the universe. The nebula is
Cold
a huge cloud of gas
okay.
being expelled from a dying star in the constellation Centaurus. Astronomers have found that the temperatures could drop as low as half a degree above absolute zero. If a human were exposed to temperatures this cold, their blood...
Wait, what does that mean? Temperatures could drop as low as half a degree above absolute zero. What
as half a degree above absolute zero. If a human were exposed to temperatures this cold, their blood would freeze, all the atoms in their body would stop moving, and all the body's processes would cease. So maybe it's not a great idea to choose the Boomerang Nebula for your next vacation then. Despite being totally frigid and inhospitable, the nebula is actually one of the most valuable locations for astronomical research. That's because it's not yet a fully fledged planetary nebula, as its central star hasn't ionized its surroundings. In simpler terms, it's still a dying star, not a dead one. This specific stage in the star's life cycle tends to last only about 1,000 years, which, in the grand scheme of things, is just a tiny...
Oh man, so they can actually
time.
experience it.
We are therefore incredibly lucky to witness an event like this in our lifetime, as it could reveal answers to complicated questions about the life and death of stars.
Mad.
Number 3. Zombie stars.
Zombie
Normally
stars.
when a star dies, it explodes in a massive supernova, and then that's it. Kaput. Dead. But in some very rare cases, there is a way they can be revived from their astronomical grave. They can become zombie stars. Let's backtrack a bit. During the final stage of a star's life, they become a white dwarf. This is when all of a star's nuclear energy has been used up, and they just cool and fade into nothingness over several billion years. However, on some occasions, these dying stars can steal energy from younger neighbouring stars. In fact, they've been known to gobble up enough fuel from a neighbouring star that it triggers an extraordinary nuclear explosion. This can be powerful enough to revive the dying star, like a zombie surviving through eating the brains of the living. Officially known as a Type 1a supernova, these zombie stars are not just freaky, they're super useful. Because they're so bright and consistent in that brightness, they're really handy for figuring distances in the universe. This means that scientists can track the expansion of the universe, furthering our understanding of how gravity and dark energy counteract. Number 2. Wandering black holes. As I mentioned back in number 9, black holes are pretty terrifying as it is. It's thought that our galaxy alone contains 100 million black holes, and they remain one of the most mysterious phenomena in the universe. At least they're all super far away and happy gobbling up planets and space dust in their own little corner of the universe, right? Wrong. There exists a special, horrifying kind of black hole that moves around space, consuming anything and everything in their path. They're known imaginatively as wandering black holes, and have been discovered travelling as fast as 5 million kilometers per hour.
Oh my days, imagine that coming towards Earth. Imagine that coming towards Earth. Imagine what that would look like.
What causes a black hole to go rogue like this? One hypothesis is that they are knocked off course by the collision of multiple galaxies and are simply sent flying. At least we're definitely safe here on Earth though, right? Wrong again. A wandering black hole has in fact been discovered within our very own Milky Way. There's no immediate...
What? Wait, what? Bro, this stuff blows my mind, man.
danger as it's currently about 10,000 light years away, but who knows
now
where
a galaxy?
it'll end up within the next few millennia.
Oh my
Number 1. The Great Attractor. Deep in the far reaches of the cosmos sits what can only be described as an astronomical nightmare, the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor was first theorized in the 1970s, when astronomers realized that the Milky Way was slightly warmer on one side than the other, and that it was moving through space at the surprisingly speedy speed of 600 kilometers a second. Conclusion?
Jeez.
Over billions of years, something is slowly but surely pulling us and everything near us closer to itself. And there's no escape. The only force that can act so powerfully over such great distances, and on whole galaxies at a time, is gravity. This means there must be something huge out there that's exerting an unrelenting gravitational pull. One major problem with our understanding of the Great Attractor is that it lays within the so-called zone of avoidance. This is an area of space that sits beyond the Milky Way in the direction of the constellation Centaurus. The zone of avoidance is completely obscured because of all the space junk, stars, gas and dust that's cluttering up our own galaxy. We therefore have no way of seeing what could be causing this massive gravitational anomaly. Could it be a ginormous black hole, a red supergiant, or maybe something that has never been discovered before? So that was the 10 most terrifying places in the universe.
Please, can I just find out, whenever it is, whether I'm here alive or not, just please say there's a way that people just find out what everything is about, what space is about, all this crazy shit that just goes on. Man, it's fucking ridiculous. Every time I do space reactions, it just baffles me. For a simple mind like mine, when I learn about this stuff, it's just too much, bro, I swear. It's funny because if alien life is observing us, they probably still only see dinosaurs or the ice ages, or they don't even see any planet yet, depending on how far they are. Unless they've got some crazy technology, right? Maybe it's an alien, flipping pulling us to them. Bro, I love space videos so much, man. At least we're safe on Earth, right? Wrong. My heart stopped for a sec. These aren't terrifying, they're just cool. Yeah, they're not terrifying, they're just really cool to learn about. I imagine someone's playing The Sims and we're in The Sims. Woohoo! Little did we know some alien teenagers just playing a game simulating our universe's actions. Bro, that's the thing. I just can't. When I get into the rabbit hole of space, I just want to look into it more, and then I can't find out what I want to learn, and it just drives me crazy. But man, I love these videos. Hopefully you did enjoy this. Again, I'm not the smartest in general, so I mean, it probably comes across as that, so you don't need me to say it. But yeah, sorry if I frustrate you. Sorry if I frustrate you with certain things that I say, but like, my mind runs very quick. When I see things that I want to learn about that I can't learn about, it just sends me into overload, man. So I mean, yeah, that's that. But I hope you did enjoy this reaction. More space reactions on the way, because they are the craziest ones to see, man. I just love seeing them. But yeah, links. Like the video if you enjoyed. Suggest some reactions that you want to see in future. And yeah, until next time. Peace.